I want to like border inside area, so I'll select this,
So
right?
first you select the border. First you select the border,
Okay,
what
okay.
type of border you want, and then you select whether you want to inside. So you select the color, you ensure that you have done the right coloring. Then you select the.
Yes, that this is the confusion happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, pivot table, you have design options available. I'm talking about when you're not doing it through. So
Yeah.
you're doing a regular table. So when you, and this is anyway applicable, but you can select your pivot table and you can go to design, and you will get to see multiple designs there, and you can pick and choose from those design options. So let me reshare. So if I'll talk about the pivot table, this is my pivot table. So just like a table, even pivot table has its own template. So I can pick and choose what design suits me, my requirement, and something I like, then I have all these options to again do the formatting. And so if you don't want to spend much time, so some of the pivot table designs are really nice. So you can straight away pick that. Okay. So let's put a ship mode here. Order priority. Let's see. Yeah. Now, question, which order priority has the highest and for which product? How can we say it from here?
By formatting the customized formatting, conditional formatting.
Okay, how can we do this? Let's. Do you remember the conditional formatting? We did it.
Can you just repeat the question once, Vivek?
Now,
Yes,
this is my
yes.
table.
I
This is my table
Hmm.
by product subcategory and by order priority.
Hmm.
So again, from data visualization perspective, I don't want to put focus on each and every element, right? I would like to tell a story. I would like to see which product subcategory and which order priority has the highest revenue contribution. How can we achieve this? Again, if I have to do it manually, if I'll scan through the entire data, it will take time, right? It should ideally jump out. I can quickly see which one is actually has the highest revenue and which one is the lowest. I can clearly see right now, this is blank means 0. So this is the lowest and these are some lowest values, but still the highest and the lowest should be apparent. So Pankaj, you were saying conditional formatting.
Yeah. So we can use condition formatting from home. There is option of condition formatting.
So with any cell selected or
Yeah, yeah. Any cell
okay.
in grand total if we can do for so that we can get for the grand total.
No, I don't want a grand total. I want for this.
So in
So should I select all this
from,
area or
from
should I?
grand to if you select grand total also, then also you can get for these
Okay,
also, no?
which one should I go for?
Condition formatting, yeah, data bar. You can select gradient fill any.
Okay, let me do
Sorry.
this.
Uh,
Hmm. Now what?
Now you have to click on this. The thing is coming. Yeah. You can click on all cells showing revenue. value for product
Yeah.
category. इसके
Or
नीचे
this.
this one, yes.
This is one way of doing it. Another way, so ideally, I don't prefer this data bar in a matrix. We call this as a matrix when you have data in rows and in columns. So this type of visualization is called matrix visual. So in matrix, whenever you're doing a grid or a matrix, so the preferred conditional formatting is, so let me get rid of it right now. Alt D, delete. Okay. So it's better you always select the range because it's that way you can visualize and see which one is helping you to tell the story. Now, which one will you prefer? So I have 12 options to select from. Which one will you prefer for your visualization?
This way it is easy and the visualization is much better than the previous one.
Yeah, but
I'll prefer
now out of
I'll
this
prefer
12,
this. The third one, first row, third one.
first
Sorry,
row,
first
third one.
column, third one. First column, third one.
Yeah, that way I
Yeah.
can see the pluses and minus. Another is what I
First
always
column.
yeah, what I always prefer, since we are trying to do a heat map. This is what we call a heat map. We are just trying to show where the intensity is. So where it's lighter, it automatically means it's a lower value, isn't it? The darker the shade, which means higher, lighter the shade, lower, right? And how many colors I'm using right now? One versus two or more colors. Again, what we talked about? What is the term it should fall in? So if I do, instead of this, if I do what Pankaj said, first or third one. Sorry, let me. Home. Home, conditional formatting, color scales, and this. So I'm showing a value like this versus let me do it small. So product subcategory, instead of product subcategory, I'll do a product category. And N1, sorry, home, conditional formatting, color scale.
Along with this, please repeat the slicer thing to apply again. I missed.
What's the slicer thing?
Like how we have applied slicer, no? This.
How we applied slicer?
Yes.
Hmm. And that's
In
a question to our others. How we applied a slicer? सब भूल गए. You right click, add as a slicer.
yes, yes, thanks.
So which one is easy on eyes?
The upper one, the
Why?
first step.
Why so?
Only single color and highlighting the maximum value in the darkest one and the lowest maybe in the lightest one. In other table, there is mix of colors, so not easy to figure out what I am showing.
Yeah. So again, lesser the color, lesser the ink you're putting on your screen.
Although, although I have told you column, not row. The first column, third preference.
Hmm. But again, lesser the ink you use in your visualization, better your picture you're showing. Okay. So that's how you apply data conditional formatting. So I'll give you some time to practice this, create a pivot, because eventually we are trying to create a dashboard out of my data. So we'll talk more about that. So you guys have done it. Okay.
Vivek, I tried, but these bars is also is
Hmm.
appearing.
Yes, because so you go to home, select on the pivot table. You select pivot table. Yeah, go to home, conditional formatting, name manage rules. You do manage rules, the last one. So it shows you what all conditional formatting applied on this. So what you don't need, you select it and you delete. So
Done.
that rule will go away. Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So I want to add a layer. So furniture, I want to see the, this is my product category. I want to see the product subcategory as well below this. So what should be my step, Nimesh? Do you remember?
Yeah, so we can select this product subcategory into the row column. So it will appear.
So, okay, I dragged and dropped and it
Yes.
appeared below this. Now, but I want it in separate column. So right now my product category and subcategory in the column A, both. I want subcategory to be an additional column.
Okay. As an additional column, then we can add into the column.
No, I'm saying it should be should not come below this. It should come next to it, because in the column I have already order priority. So if I'll
Right.
add, that is going to be a little different. So if I add product subcategory into column, this is how it will look like. This is not
Yeah,
how I want.
that will all.
I want
Yeah.
a separate
Okay.
column.
I didn't remember that step now.
Hmm. Hmm. I want it. So instead of in column A should have furniture. Column B, as in then column B should have these subcategories: book, chair, maths, office, then followed by all these.
Understood the question, but I'm trying but not able to do.
Okay. Who else
Insert,
understood the question? No, that's
insert,
insert
I
one.
guess.
No, it's not insert. Hmm. Pooja, Kunal. Now, do you guys remember this? What did I do?
You place subcategory in that row part.
It was already row part. Now my product category and product subcategory and two columns, A and B. Earlier it was not. Earlier it was in under one column. Still rows had product category and subcategory. So this layering or the hierarchy was coming into the same column. Now I have different columns. So if I add, the moment I add, let's say third, so let's just say I'm adding ship mode. I got a column C for ship mode. And then the order priorities. Wise revenue. How can we achieve this? What you have, I guess, is when the moment you adding layers to your rows, it's all coming in the column A.
Yes.
Mm.
No,
What
but
else?
mine it is coming in column B when I am adding in the row.
All right, let's see. Can you share your screen, Nimesh?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I added here and it is
Hold on,
coming
it's not.
product
It's
of,
not up. Hold on, your screen is not up.
yeah, actually I am having some network issues. Less from morning only. Is it
Okay,
visible?
not yet to me at least. I'm not sure about others. Yeah, it is visible now. Yes, so yes, this is how it should be. So how did you achieve this?
No, I don't know that. Like when I dragged like over there, then it is automatically coming in column
So
B.
you were using last week's file, right? You
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
okay? Do one thing. Delete this sheet. Right click on the sheet.
Oh,
Delete.
entire sheet. Okay,
Yes, entire sheet.
okay. Now new sheet.
Now insert a new pivot.
Okay, I've just taken. I should copy paste that from
No, this
previous.
time no. It's all right. We have already deleted it, so it's okay. Let's insert a new pivot.
So from sheet one, I should do it.
Yes, and rename that sheet one as sales.
Okay,
So rename your sheet one as sales, and then from there insert a new pivot.
okay. How to initiate? I forgot the step to insert the pivot as well.
Hmm. Who can help? Pooja, can you help?
Alt DPF.
Alt DPF, otherwise insert pivot.
Yeah.
All DP. Okay. All DPF.
Alt DPF.
You don't have to keep it press. So you
All DPF. Yeah. Now I'll select the product category first.
mhm. You do a product subcategory as well, and you put some sales into the values.
Row subcategory as well in rows. Now it is coming in column A only.
How can you make it into column B? Let's focus on this right now. Anyone? How can we make it into 2 columns?
Right.
No one has practiced anything in last 1 week. You know, one of the objective was to give a gap between so much of gap was so that you guys can get time to practice.
We practice, Vivek, but
Not everything.
This thing missed out to like separate the column.
Okay. So let's do one. Let's do this, Nimesh.
Yes.
Yeah. Go to design with the pivot table selected. Go to design.
Pivot table selected.
Go to design.
Yeah.
Design menu on the top. Now report layout, third option from the left.
Report layout or page layout. It is showing.
Report layout.
Yeah. Then.
Now which layout will suit our purpose?
Okay. All items. Repeat all items.
No, we are talking about layouts. The first 3 options are you have the layout. There are 3 layouts.
Show outline form.
Yeah. Outline form.
Outline. Okay.
Outline form I don't think will help you.
Okay.
Try those. There are 3 forms. You're already in compact form. You're already in a compact form.
Okay, tabular form will do.
What will happen in the outline?
Outline. Okay. Yeah. So in outline, it will come under the category.
So how
as
it is
a separate
different from
column.
the
So it is different. The difference is just minor difference, but we can make it out here. So this is in outline form, and this is in tabular form.
For me, it worked in outline form. Maybe.
Yeah, both is almost same, but
suppose.
major difference I'm not able to make it.
Not able to make it?
No.
Okay, let's see. Let me share my screen and you guys can tell me. Can see my screen?
Yes.
This is tabular. This is outline. Do you see any difference?
Total is not coming, so only total is grand total and is coming. That's it.
In what?
In this outline. In tabular, you are getting total also for the subcategory.
No, I'm getting both. So in outline, I'm getting at the top without formatting. That is the primary difference. So nothing is formatted. Everything has same format, exact same format. When I do a tabular, my subtotals are highlighted. Okay, so that's why I always prefer a tabular, because I can again quickly see what values I'm looking at. Right. All right, so this is what we have right now. So in pivot, pasted this. So now I have the discount, and my discount is varying from 0 to how much discount I'm giving? 0 to 110%.
Yes.
So my client asked that, can you tell me if you club your discounts into bracket of 5? So you say 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, or you can club it in 3, 0 to 3% discount, 3 to then 4 to 6, and 6 to 9, or more than that. How much sale you made and what type of discount? So at the moment, if I drag and drop sales, this is my revenue, but I want to club these together. How can we do this? I want to create a band of 3. Do you guys come across any such requirement that where you have to club your number fields into different buckets or categories? It can be your order number as well. So order quantity. So your order quantity is from 1 to 50. What percentage of say revenue you're making between 0 to 1 to 10 orders? Then what percentage 11 to 12, 11 to 20, then 20, 1 to 30, so on and so forth. What is that percentage of sale it is happening? So let's say our bulk order definition is 40 and above. 40, basically 40, 41 and above. Or you can say, let's say 30 and above, your bulk order. So how much you are contributing, how much sale this is contributing, how much revenue versus how much the rest of it. How will you do it?
Yesterday we did an if thing, no?
Mm-hmm.
So shall we go ahead with that, or another any another?
So with if, what you will do? This is your table. This is your table. Then what you will do? And this is your order quantity, and you have to identify how much revenue your bulk orders are giving versus the rest, and you want to divide it, put it in bracket of 10. So between 1 to 10, there is one bracket. 11 to 20, there is another bracket. So you want to see how much order sales they are doing. You understood my problem? The problem
Yeah,
statement?
we have to make bunch of these things.
Yes. You have to group them together.
Yeah.
So how can we do this? It's very straightforward in Pivot. So you put whatever value field. So the moment I put a text field into rows, Excel Pivot categorize as in group it, right? All delivery truck into one group, right? Similarly, it has categorized, it has summarized all the order quantity of 5 into one group. But can I do a further grouping of numbers? The answer is yes. So for that, I put my numbers into rows. Then I right click and I say group. Now it automatically detects what's my starting point and what's my end point, basically minimum and the maximum value. And it suggests that you can create a bucket of 10. So if I click OK, now do you see any change or what it is showing?
Yeah, it has created 5 slabs under order quantity and according to the total sum of the sales value as per the respective slabs.
Yeah, so I have now for each slab how much revenue they are making. And if I have to get the percentage, then so this is the absolute amount 609760. What is the percentage? How much percent? What's the process for that to calculate the percentage? Don't remember how to calculate percentages in pivot, percentage of column total? Kunal, Pooja, mic check 1 2 3 testing.
What percentage?
This percentage.
Okay.
How can we do it in pivot? This though I applied a formula. Kind of sad. Don't remember. Revenue. I'll drag drop whatever percentages I want to calculate. So I want to calculate the percentage of sales on the column total. Select that value field settings, show value as no calculation, percentage of column total. Ring any bells?
Yes, yeah.
Hmm. Kunal and Pooja didn't even care to respond to my question on my call. Are you guys here or gone? Not interested?
Yeah, I'm there.
You forgot how to do this?
I did forgot, but after you actually told, so I've done that.
Okay, great. So, any questions on the grouping side?
No,
So, if I need to know what is the total order quantity between, so this is my total revenue. I need to know the total order quantity between 1 and 10. How can I do this? The order quantity between 1 and 10. Total order quantity.
Can we use same again value field setting?
Sorry, what should I
Can we
do?
use value field setting in this?
No, I'll just do drag and drop order quantity, value field settings, and sum.
Uh,
Sorry, you said something, Pankaj?
Actually, I missed this point, so I was trying to do total orders. I drag.
You just drag drop order
Yes, yes.
and then value field settings,
Mm.
then you change it to sum.
Right, right.
So just
So why we change it to sum?
yes,
It went to count, right? The
it
number of
went to count.
orders.
Yes. So the moment you group any number field, the moment you do a grouping of a number field, Excel by default treat it as a text. So what happens when you
Okay.
drag and drop a text field into values? It gives you the count, right?
Okay.
So that's why. That's the only catch when you do a grouping. That the moment you put group a number field, it uh, Excel treat it as a text. So you can anyway go back and change the value field settings to sum.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So
Fine.
the next question is, I need revenue per order, which means how can we achieve calculations?
You can go to value field settings and like average of it.
It's not average.
Okay.
Average can be a different. Average can be different from a division or any mathematical operation.
So value per order. So we require average of that particular order quantity slab, right?
Not necessarily. It's what has happened to my mouse. Hmm. So if I do an average revenue, let's just say, I'm not sure. Let's see. So I'll do a sales. Okay. This is my average. Whereas
Okay.
value per order is this.
Okay. Okay. Value per order. Value per order.
So how can I do a mathematical operations like division, dividing two fields? So I have one field called sales, and one field order. How can I divide it within the pivot? For that, I'll go to pivot table, analyze, field, items and settings, calculated field. And I can name it revenue per order. And what is the formula? Sales divided by order quantity.
Order quantity.
And click OK. Now okay, this is a tricky part. I have to ungroup my number field because so I'll remove order quantity from here and I put product category here. Revenue per order. So this is my average sale furniture. The average of the sale amount in the furniture category is 333.66, whereas revenue per order quantity is 128.89. So I'm dividing revenue field by orders field. So that calculated field, if I'll look at the calculated field, it will show in my field list, but it's not present physically in my table. So it's not part of my table, but it can be part of my field list. And I can use it like just any other field list, and it will work on all the slicers or so whatever slices I'm going to work with, it's going to give me the updated values. All right. Formatting 3 columns. I'll give you time to practice. Let me know if you have any questions. Then I'll move to the next segment.
Yeah, ready. Actually, I'm calculation I'm doing wrong. Otherwise, understood the concept.
What do you mean by you're doing wrong?
Again, I was dividing order quantity with order quantity or something. So I have to divide this by revenue. So
how can you correct it? Let's say you did and you didn't. It was not up to your expectation, or it was incorrect. How can you modify it?
So we'll go to pivot table, analyze, field and items, calculate fields. We'll name it revenue.
No, I have to modify, not create a new.
So first I'll delete that. The
No
one
need.
which
You select from the name because you have created only one, and here then now you can modify.
Okay. So this will be quick. Just a second.
Yes. Shall we move to the next segment now?
Yes.
Let's cover the visualization. No questions. Okay. Now, great. If you'll observe here, I have two slices, one for customer segment, one for ship mode. Now, if I'm selecting elements from the customer segment, this pivot table and these two are getting updated. But when I'm selecting from ship mode, this pivot table values are getting updated, but not this. Have you come across any such thing? That my pivot table source is same, everything is same, but one is interacting, another is not. So this comes through slicer settings. So you can actually control the interaction. So before we move to the pivot, the interaction, there was one thing which you should know, that each pivot table, so this is one table and this is another table. Each pivot table, Excel assigns a name. So this pivot table has a generic name of pivot table 4, and this pivot table has a generic name of pivot table 1. So if in your Excel worksheet, if you have multiple pivot tables, you click on the pivot table and you go to pivot table analyze, you will see that Excel has assigned a name to it. All right. So you can, if you wish, and it's again recommended, that you can name your pivot table just like you name a regular Excel table, you can name your pivot table as well. So what I can do is this one is for product category. So I can name it product category without any space. And this one is for region. So I'll name this pivot table as region sales. So now I have two pivot tables in my Excel worksheet. One is product category sales and another is region sales. Now when I select a slicer, I can go to slicer and then there are two options. One is slicer settings and then second is report connection. What we are looking for is the connection to the report. So if I'll select the slicer customer segment, I've selected and go to slicer and report connection. It will give me the list of all the pivot tables in the existing workbook. So if I have other pivot tables, it will also give me that list, the name of the sheet where it is currently, and the table name. So I have two pivot tables, product category and region sales. And this check marks denotes that this slicer customer segment is interacting with both. And when I say interacting with both, if I'm selecting any element from the slicer, it's filtering both the tables. But in case of ship mode, it is not doing it. So if I'll go and see the report connection for the ship mode, there is no check mark against product category. So when I check this and click OK, now my pivot table is interacting with both. So I can pick and choose, create an interactive experience for the customer and for myself by ensuring using the right slicer and then using the report connection to make sure which one is interacting with what. So for example, if let's say I added another slicer. So Pankaj, how should I add another slicer? Can you guide me? I want to add a slicer for
Yes.
a product category so that I can filter this.
So you can go on product category in this. Yes, right click. So there is slicer.
Add as a slicer. I'll
Yeah.
put it here at the top. Make it 3 column so that it looks, I can then resize it. Or let me keep it here. Better, even better. Let's make it 1 column. So I have a slicer here, product category. So what I want, it should interact with this, but not with this, because if I keep an interaction with the product category table, it's not meaningful, because at the moment it will always show me one, which anyways I'm getting it from the pivot table. So this way I can have multiple slicers. By using report connection, I can ensure if my customer or if my user or even I am selecting a particular slicer, I'm getting all the relevant results. So you can have your layered experience when it comes to designing your pivot table report and a dashboard like environment.
Vivek,
Yeah.
understood. Just one more query. This
Hmm.
the basic one. How you did this slicer into the column mode or row mode? I'm trying. It was not happening.
What do you mean by column mode and row mode?
Like here
Okay,
in this, yeah.
like this. Okay.
Yes.
So you
Yes. Yes.
select the slicer,
Mm.
you go to slicer and here columns. So
Okay.
by default, it is in one column. If you want to
Right.
put multiple, so you increase the row number.
Right. Right. Understood.
Okay. So you can define the name as well of the slicer setting. What should be the display name? So if my field list is not customer segment without a space, but I want it to look with space, so you can change it from here. Slicer settings, display name, you can change it from here. Product category, slicer settings. So you can create a dashboard like environment and dashboard like experience for yourself and without uh, writing formulas or codes. Okay. Let's say your pivot table, you copy paste a pivot table and there are multiple values and you want to get rid of all of them at one go. So instead of removing options from here, in the columns, you will have these values. You just drag them out. I'll give you a couple of more minutes to practice this. The slicer settings, play with it. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, Vivek.
Great. Uh,
Done.
hmm. So we learned grouping numbers. Similarly, we have a grouping option when it comes to date. So my order month is a date field. And how can we say it's a date field? Because I can format it in multiple ways. If it had been text field, I will not be able to format it. So the moment I drag and drop a date field either in the rows or in the columns, pivot table automatically recognizes it that this is a date and it performs a grouping. It's an auto grouping. So it has clubbed it years, quarters, and month. Now I have two more fields added. One is quarters and one is years. So if we'll expand this, so 2009 have quarter and the month is Jan, Feb, March. So it performs the grouping and now you can use these columns like a regular feature. So if I have to do a year over year and month over month sales performance, I can do it easily. And again, it will work on all the slicers, whatever we have been using so far. So you can filter your results. And you can use those field list as a slicer as well. So let's say make it 4, or make it 2 columns. Sorry. So if I'm looking at Q1 month performance, Q2, Pooja, what's happening? Why it is not interacting with this?
Because it is not connecting with this pivot.
So how can we check?
Go to the slicer.
Slicer settings.
Then report connection.
So it's not checked with the 2. I'll check it. Then now you're getting this additional values, which is just there because it has no data. It's not highlighted. You can't select it. So I can get rid of that by slicer settings, hide items with no data. So if you want in your slicer that it should show only those values which are valid for the selection, then you ensure that in the slicer settings, you select hide items with no data. So now my pivot is interacting with all this. And I don't want this quarter to interact with this pivot table. So let me first name it. Analyze pivot table 5 is yearly sales. And quarters slicer should not interact with my yearly sales right now. So report connection. I'll check. So I can get my quarterly values from here by ship mode, by customer segment, but this should always give me the entire year, depending on what field I'm selecting. And again, I can do a conditional formatting, which is a heat map. That's one way of understanding which month of the year has my highest revenue. Quickly, I can using heat map. So with Express here, we are not making much of a sale, but overall, and if I'll remove the furniture, so the overall, I'm making more sales in the month of December and January. That's where I do most of my sales. For delivery truck, again, it's December, January. Regular year, September for the last 2 years. I've done significant increase, and from October, November, December has been usually the. So you can quickly analyze your performance. So let's do this First, do the year-wise, date-wise grouping and create a year grid and do some conditional formatting. Put it on the chart, screenshot. Questions? Let's see some of the screenshots. So Pankaj has shared. Nice. Pankaj, your grid lines, and then can you get rid of the quarters data with no fields? Fields
Sure.
with no data, sorry.
Sure.
Pooja, Nimesh.
Actually, I am not able to convert this uh, order months into the entire 12 months separately as you did it here.
Okay, let's see your screen. And Pankaj can help, I guess.
What you are asking, Nimesh?
Yeah, so I'm not able to put in entire separate 12 months over here. You can see my screen.
No.
Okay, I just shared it. Is it visible now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it,
It's not visible to me. I'm not sure about Pankaj.
okay,
No, not visible
there
to
is
me
some
also.
network issue. Okay,
I'll
some
share my
network
screen
issue.
and do again. Right?
Okay,
What happened? Achha. I don't know what is happening. So first select years, and here we have months, order month. You can drag order months into column. So now from here you can get and sales figure from some. This format is
okay. Order months into the column. Then
yes, like this.
yeah, got it.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thanks, Pankaj.
thanks.
Pooja.
Yes, done it.
Let's see your screenshot if possible. So we're talking about the spark lines. So let's talk. Let me show it one more time. So spark lines are again. So we use spark lines to just denote a trend, and it's very small graph. So and it's basically a graph within a cell. So what we can do is with the cell where we have to insert a spark line, we'll select that cell, go to insert, and in the insert you will find spark lines. There are three types of spark lines. What we need is right now is a line. That's the best way of doing the trend, representing the trend. So it asks for the data range. So we'll select the data range, which is for 1 year, 2009, Jan to December. And location is this current 050. So click OK. The moment I click OK, I get the small graph within the cell. So again, just like a slicer or a pivot table, we get a contextual menu. We get a contextual menu for sparkline. The moment I select the sparkline, I get a contextual menu and I can add elements to it. You can increase the text size the way you increase the text size of, and you can copy paste. So now you have a sparkline. So let me which is again dynamic, kinds of show you the overall trend based on the data you have. So another visual representation which is popularly used. So you don't have to focus on the data points. You can look at the sparkline just to see that 2009 you have upward trend by the end of the year. Again, 2010 you had also sale went up. 2011 you had a quite zigzag up down up down. So it helps when you quickly want to analyze data. So if I create another table like this, and this time I use profit, and I can have a similar sparkline for profit, and you can do a win loss. So again, it shows you how many negatives and positives if your data is not formatted. So you can do sparklines to make your again increase interactivity in your field or in your report and create a dashboard like experience. So it's your turn to practice and ask any questions if you have.
Uh, Only one question. How you have put this thing? Change the sparkline format. For me, it's coming only single line. The dots are not coming.
So select this sparkline, go to sparkline option, and you have markers.
Markers.
So you can make changes from here. You can select what sparklines makes best. So you can define the colors and all that. So all formatting options are here. So there are a couple more things in the pivot. I want to quickly show you that, which can be very useful when it comes to comparing performances. So last time we saw you can calculate the percentage of from the parent, right? Do you remember that? That furniture and bookcases, if I do a percentage of how much? 1696 for the furniture. You remember that? Yes, no?
Need to try then.
Which is fine. You can do that, but you remember we did that.
Yes, yes, remember.
Yeah. How to do that is again will come with practice. So you can do a lot more with when it comes to pivot. So for example, in this, what I've done is, so I have profit. These are my profits. So I want to see month over month change in the profit. So what's a formula for that? How will you do a month over month change? Percentage change. So let's say January is your profit 5361 and February 1434 for year 2009. What will be that in terms of percentage? How we will calculate it? If I do it by formula. No one has done ever percentage change from the previous time period or
We have to
previous
divide.
previous
Sorry.
salary to current salary.
So
So
if our current salary, we need
it,
to
we take a
divide.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah, we need to
first we
divide. Yeah.
yeah first we take a difference of the current versus previous, and then we divide it by previous. So technically there is
Yes.
a 22,576% change. So from $53, the profit changed to 1434, so on and so forth. Then in the following year, it went down by 399%. Then it again, there was a slight improvement of 34%, although we were still in loss, right? So percentage change from the previous year, when we do that percentage change from the previous year, yeah, we are using Excel formula. We can do it in pivot as well. So we'll take help of value field settings, show value as, and change is difference. So we'll say percentage difference from. Now, what we're talking about month over month. So at the moment, my month field is, in this case, order month. That's what in my columns. So I'll select order month and from the previous order month. When I click OK, I'm getting percentage change from the previous month. If I have to get it from the previous year, percentage change from the previous year. So instead of comparing Jan and Feb, I'm comparing Jan of 2009 to Jan of 2010. I can do again the same thing, value field settings, show value as percentage difference from. This time, instead of order month, I'll do year and then say previous year. So the way we should read it, that percentage change from Jan 2009 to Feb 2009, there was 2575% change. Whereas from Jan 2009 to Jan 2010, there was 24970% change. And again, it's dynamic. It has errors when it is not calculating, but it is kind of simple to apply that percentage changes. So within with the help of pivot, you can quickly summarize it, you can visualize it, and you can do some calculations. And accordingly, you can do a percentage changes. Year over year, month over month, depending on how you want to see it. Great, thanks, Pankaj.
I'm getting not applicable in all the fields in all the cells.
Okay, let's see your screen.
Yeah, yeah. Can you see?
Yeah. Okay, let's see your value field settings. So go to your value field settings for this.
Yeah. So value is
Hmm.
I've done percentage difference from.
So you selected sales, not sales. Difference from what? From previous year or previous month? What exactly you want to see?
So in base field,
Yeah.
okay, in base item I've selected previous. So I need
Yes,
to select the
but
month, order
no,
month.
no, no. First, in the base field, how you want to do a comparison? You doing a month over month comparison, or you want to do a year over year comparison? First, tell me
Yeah,
this.
I will do month over month over here.
So for that, you select order month,
Order month, okay.
and in the order month, you are selecting the previous order month. So when you select
Okay.
previous, and you click OK,
Yeah.
now it is going to give you a month over month comparison of percentage change. So yeah, now this number is 24.51, or this December
Hmm.
55573 is the percentage change from November to 2009
Okay. Right.
for sales. Similarly, if you want to do it for year over year, not the month over month, so you want to do compare year of 2000 Jan of 2009 with Jan of 2010. So you go back to value field settings, and this time instead of order month, you will say give me the year. So you select years.
Yeah. Previous.
Yes,
Base item.
previous year. Yes, previous.
Okay.
So now this will, once you click OK, now what you're comparing is the March of, let's say 43.73 for 2011 is the percentage change from March 2010. So March
Right.
2010, your profit was 13,519, and 2011 is 19,
19,000. Yeah.
right? So there is a 50%, a
Oh,
43% increase. But from 2009 March, your profit reduced by 50%. In the
right.
March 2009, you made a profit of 274.
27.
This 277, yeah, and 2010 you made 1359. So there is a 50% decrease. And again, based on the slicer selection, this will update. So you can do
Okay.
quick calculation, comparison, analysis using pivots without
Right.
worrying about writing complex formulas, and it's completely dynamic.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, Pooja, questions?
No.
So I have a question now. In this visual, let me share my screen. So I'm comparing it with 2009 for 2010. For 2011, I'm comparing it with the 2010. And for 2012, I'm comparing it to 2011, previous year. I would like to compare all my results with 2009. So basically, this is my start year, 2009. The year the company was founded. Now I want to see year over year growth when against the start year for sales. So in 2009, I made 2,409, and in 2012, I made 35,199 sales revenue. What is that percentage change? Similarly, 2011 should also compare with this. 2010 should also compare with this. So my base year is 2009 for all the percentage change calculation. Can you guys do that?
Yeah. So instead of selecting previous recent, we can select 2009. as a base item.
Okay, can
Is
you
it?
show it to us? Let's see. You share your screen and show it to us.
Yeah, I've done it. Is it visible?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go to value field settings, then show value as over here. Base will remain here. Instead of in base item, I have selected 2009. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I've fixed my base instead of the dynamic base for previous year. I'm just saying my base year is 2009. So you can actually decide a particular time period in form of year and month
right.
and
Okay.
quarter as well. Okay. So that
Yeah.
way, every time your comparison will be from that particular time period.
Yes.
This is my profit. What's the difference between this profit and this profit?
One is profit, another is year-to-date profit.
So basically, in January of 2009, I made a loss of 2426, but in February,
And you
I
made a
made a
profit
profit.
of 323203, and then it
Yeah,
is minus from 2426, and the
yeah,
value is 777.66.
yes. So can we do this? Figure it out. How can we do a YTD? Let's see who can figure this out. Okay, there is a hint. It's a running total. So what we're looking at is a running total.
Yes, done.
Nice. Can you show it to Nimesh?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've done in that previous table, and also I have one doubt. I'll just ask you, is it
Sure.
correct or not? So over here, I did it.
Hold on.
So by selecting profit,
Put it in the right structure, because this way it's difficult to find out the running total. So create a copy, create a new table.
yes, create a new table.
And put it in a proper structure. So now year and month in the rows, and
Year and month in the row. Profit in the column.
yeah, not column, values.
Okay, value. So sum of profit is already there in the
So
values.
yeah, you remove the sum of profit right now.
Okay.
And that's not sum of profit. That's why I always recommend that you change or you name your value field settings whenever you. So that was percentage change.
Okay. So I have taken sum. Okay, it's already coming sum of profit only. What should I select over here? In values, I've mentioned profit. When I select profit, it is coming sum of profit.
So name it what it is. It's a total profit. So call it a total profit instead of sum of profit.
Okay. So how to name it? By going in value field settings.
Yeah, you can name it from there.
Okay. Total profit. Then show value as to select the calculation running total.
Mm-hmm.
Running total I have taken in.
Mm-hmm.
Total in order month. Is it correct?
Let's see. So do it.
It's not coming. Not applicable.
Yeah, because it's not applicable at the year level. You need to expand your pivot. So expand it.
Expand. Where should I expand?
The 2009 with.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now put the profit column. This is the cumulative profit. Actually, this is not total profit. You're looking at a cumulative profit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you should again rename this a cumulative profit, and you should drag and drop profit one more time. That should be your total profit. And do a proper formatting so that make it 0 decimal places and negative values in red.
So it is done. Okay. Sum of profit.
You could have formatted it also. Both columns, you can select both the columns at the same time and quickly do a currency format. Hmm.
Yeah. Done. Yes. Done.
Yeah. All right, guys, any questions on this?
Thank you.
Pankaj, Pooja.
Vivek, I'm so sorry. I got a call from one of my important customer, so I missed what. Actually, I'm not disturbed what Nimesh was doing. Running total, what we was doing.
We were doing running total, yes. Okay, you can share your screen and then we can do it.
Okay, just a second.
And maybe Pooja, can you help Pankaj?
Visible.
I also got disconnect. Sorry.
So till what
Yes.
time?
I.
So we have to do running total month wise, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
basically,
Correct. Yeah.
Mm, this is. So I've chose total, grand total. That's why it's coming here.
It is coming in percentage.
hmm.
Okay. You selected the running total in percentage.
Is it right? This.
One is that you can get rid of your, what's that, quarters in the columns. That's not required.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is your total sales, and what you need is let's say running total YTD sales, or
Okay.
Y till year till month sale. That is a better way of calling. It's not till date, it's till month maybe. Hello, Pankaj.
Yes, yes, Vivek.
Hmm. Your screen went off, so
Yes, yes. Yes. So what do you have to do?
mm. All right, Nimesh, what he has to do? First thing first, you get rid of your
Yeah.
percentage. Get the or no calculation mode. You should see the value, not the percentage. How can you change this? Not here. This formatting is another thing. It's not formatting. 5%.
This is prof. See,
When you're getting confused, it's always best to start over. So you remove sum of sales from values, start over.
is this fine? Still, why this is coming in? Why this is coming in percentage? I don't know.
Now it is formatting because you applied a
Okay.
format on these cells as percentage, so that's why it's coming as a formatting. And that is one of the reason why you always do a formatting
Okay.
from value field settings, not
Right.
mm. Yeah. Animesh, what he should do now?
Yeah, it should go to value field settings. Yeah, you can just change the custom name if it is a total sales or cumulative sales accordingly.
Running total.
Running total ऊपर ऊपर वाला हाँ, running total in हाँ, total sales. Mention the name, actual name, what it is, total sales. Mm,
This is
ये total sales right है क्या? I am also confused.
And it's always whenever you do a running total, you should always get a
New this thing in new
another
new
another
column you should,
column, yeah, without
yeah.
showing a running total, a simple total sales. That way you can compare. So you add another column for sales, which is showing just sum of sales.
Right.
running total by month, na? Name is right, I think. What should I name him?
Yeah, you can mention YTD YTD sales are and yeah.
It's getting add.
You need to expand it because at a year level there is no YTD. So 2000, wherever you're getting error, because that year you have to expand it.
This one. No?
Mm. So now it's you're getting the YTD numbers now.
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions? Any confusion? No.
No, wait.
Okay. So shall we take a break then?
Yes.
So you have any questions so far?
No, no way as of now. But yes, when we used to practice now, then some questions arise. But
Mhm.
after that, when we try other things and see the video, like I had a query, couple of queries, but I saw the video, then got resolved.
Okay. That's as long as your queries are getting resolved,
Hmm.
that should be good.
Only thing is, as of now, we are not like, particularly for me, I'm not getting that much of data. Earlier I used to, but right now we don't have that much of data. That's why a use is limited.
So
But yes,
what was your
I'm
main
saying,
objective?
yeah, that's why I'm saying ki if I will get more and more data, then it's good. Practice will be on daily basis.
Uh-huh. So at the moment, so what was your initial objective to from this training then, if you're not dealing with that
So
much
I'll
data?
after this I am going to teach whatever I learned to my wife, my brother, and to my
Okay,
team also. So
that's nice.
whosoever is not willing or will, maybe I don't know about the next batch. So whatever I was able to learn, I can. So I'm planning this.
Oh, that's a good plan. That's
Vivek, I'm back.
yeah. So, so Nimesh and Kunal are here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. So any questions you have?
Vivek, I have one question. I just wanted
Mm-hmm.
to know these recordings will be available to us now. It's not get deleted or like if we wanted to use it or refer it anytime.
And what do you mean by anytime?
Anytime means like we are when we are working and if we need some help or somewhere so that can we refer to those materials.
So most likely yes, as long as YouTube is not changing, updating its policy that they will say,
I mean that you are not going to remove it.
yeah, I'm not gonna make extra effort to go and remove them for sure.
Okay.
That's for sure. But apart from that, what I would also recommend is, so I kind of part of a group which I run. It's a WhatsApp group, BI Simplified. So that group is primarily, objective of creating that group was to create a forum where people can actually use that to ask questions or share best practices. So you can also join there. So in case if you're stuck and if you're not sure of what to do, then yeah, you can
That's
ask
great.
questions here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because sometimes when we are doing things here, yeah, because we do it so quickly, and when we, like yesterday night, I was doing the practice, so I was in solo mode. I was doing it, checking it, applying it. So if I stuck up somewhere, so that's what.
Yeah, and that's there. And so this year I started almost every week there is a webinar on one or two things. So which I'm going to expand more on that. So for first 6 months, that's my plan. So
Okay.
yeah, all those webinars are announced in that group itself. So I don't want to do so much of public coming into the webinar, and rather than I'll select few as in 10, 15 people at max, and then do the webinar so that if they have asked questions, then I can answer them as well.
Okay.
So Vivek,
So
apart from this Excel, what all your area of interest are there like in this online learning program?
So I do Excel, Power BI, and sometimes Power Apps, and data visualization and machine learning. That's my primary. Not machine learning, but at the moment not. But I do some of data analytics.
Okay.
So I write about those as well. So if you'll visit the blog, so I have different segments created. So I have. So if you're dealing with data, so you should know statistics, but not everyone is very comfortable with statistics because this looks like nobody liked it in the school days. So then I try to keep it as layman terms as possible so that you should know what it
Okay.
means, not how to calculate it. Now calculation is not important. It's because machines or the tools are there to do the calculation for you. But in case
Right.
if you're looking at mean, and then if you're looking at median, then you should know what does that mean and why we should use mean and why we should use median. If you're dealing with numbers, you should know how to read those numbers. And that's my general
Right.
idea
Okay.
is. So
Yeah.
that's there. So I've started the statistics simplified. So there are some advanced tools and tests which happens, but at the what do you call it, baseline level, there is only few terms which you should be aware of, especially for senior management. They really don't care or they don't understand. So you should understand what is a mean and what is a median and where should I use what, because Excel has those formulas. So you can actually apply without understanding how to calculate it, but how to use it is another thing. So there are two challenges: how to calculate and how to use. Calculation, someone else can do it for you. Understanding, it's always going to be yours. So yeah, you can again, and as I said, you can be part of the group. You can join this group. So if in case if you're facing any challenges, you can post it there and we'll try and solve it. All right.
Yes. Yes, Vivek. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek.
Welcome. So for example, previous last week I did this, and then okay, now 2 weeks ago I did this webinar on pivot. And then last week I did it on Power Pivot. Yesterday I did it. So basically this is level 1, 2, and then so on and so forth. So I'll keep on adding level 3, 4, 5, and so yeah, I'm planning to launch more such webinars.
It seems like in Excel, pivot plays the most important role.
It's convenient actually. So for example, if you had to do all this by formulas, it would have taken you a day at least, especially when you are quite good with formulas. We did it. If I have to do it using pivots, I can do it in 10 minutes, maybe less, if I'm comfortable and if I know what I need to do. And this dynamism, you will not get, as in it will take a lot of effort to get this done through formulas, a lot of effort. Pivot, drag, drop, that's it. Do value field settings. So I can, as I said, you can create a dashboard look like look and feel within Excel. And next time a new data comes in, all I have to do is paste it below this and refresh my table. Right click, refresh. You will have new information. So that's how it's simple it is. In case if it hasn't. So for example, if I added data for today, so it's a low and I have 100 orders and made a sale of 1000. Okay. Right click, let me change my data source because it's not taking, it's not fixed. So usually okay, I had to ensure from the first pivot. Table analyze. So it's very important that we have this. I have to remove the connections.
Did you start recording?
Yeah, recording is there. So when you work with slicers and pivots, you have to be very sure of the connection and all that. So if you inserted a pivot from a table, then it works fine. Otherwise, it creates a problem. Just a FYI, if you're planning to keep it as is. So you have to get rid of, not get rid of all the pivots, but you have to ensure first remove the connection, then update it. That's a challenge. Those are some drawbacks actually. That a few will update, few will not update. So you have to focus on that. But apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. As long as you are using the right fields, using the right value field settings, then it shouldn't be a problem. 1065, what is the layer? It's not updating right now. We'll talk about that.
Vivek, one question arises. You have told us to hide the rest of the sheet. Whatever you want to show, you can show. How to do that? I was trying. So by
hide
selecting
the rest of the as in
like
okay,
we
the
want
rows
to
and columns.
show till we want to show till row am column am and 40 row 40.
Select it, and then either you right click and hide columns. Similarly,
control 9, control 0.
Control 9 is for rows, control 0 is for column. If you don't remember, then you can right click and then you can do hide. So let's say you want to hide these rows, so right click, hide. But you want to hide this column, select the column, hide.
Okay. What I was doing, I was not I was dragging only. I was not doing control shift down and top down top this thing.
All right, let's do some visualization quickly, and then we'll move to some other features of Excel. So let me copy this. Oops, sorry. Copy, paste, value field settings, no show field list, and let's get rid of. Okay. So I have these two fields, revenue by region and by and then revenue. Let's remove the revenue per order right now, and I don't need the total. So grand total off. So what's the visualization you will create for this graphs?
We can create a bar graph, pie graph.
Yeah, so pie will not help. So first thing what you can do is you select the table, go to insert, and you can do a recommended charts. Here you can select and see which one is actually helping you to. So it at most of the time it will give you the preview, how it looks like. So whenever we have data like this, textual data, categorical data, we prefer this bar. And the best part about the Excel is that you can customize it. So you can select the each and every element. So these are chart elements. So and how you know what element you have selected? Either you go to select it, you go to format, it will say what you have selected, or you select the chart and you do a control 1. So right now I've selected chart area. When I clicked on this data series, it says format data series. So I've selected a data series. Click here, legend, axes. So depends on what you have selected, you can actually format it. And you can select individual elements by category, and you can select the individual. So you click it one more time. So for example, I have to select this bar. So first I'll select click on the bar, it will select all the bars, and if I'll need to select this, just this west, I'll click it one more time. So it will select the only single bar only. So this is the graph which by default it will create. So let me do it one more time. So with any cell selected inside a pivot table, or you can select the entire table as well, and you go to insert. I prefer recommended chart because I can see which one is suiting my requirement. So you can test it. I'm doing a bar right now. This is the okay, and this is the by default chart we have Excel has created for us. Now we talked about the data to ink ratio, and what is the primary objective of data to ink ratio when it comes to visualization?
Show whatever important.
So basically what's not relevant and adding value to my story, I'll remove it. So for example, this total is not adding value, so I'll select it and then click delete. Similarly, this x-axis is not adding value, I can select and then delete. These buttons are not adding values. This one I will hide, not delete. So right click and I can say hide all fields and buttons. Then this borderline is not helping. Again, I'll click the chart. I'm selecting chart area, border. I'm into the format option. I'll say no border. It would be helpful if I need the data labels. So I can right click, select on the chart, this element, right click, add data labels. I can format it to suit my requirement. So if I'll format my source, this one will also format it. I don't need the grid line as well. I'll select it and delete it. Okay, it's your turn and create this version. We'll do more chart elements after this. So what we essentially did right now, we excluded or removed everything which is not required, stripped down to bare possible level.
That this editing format shape option is not coming.
Share your screen. Control 1. Select the chart. Do a control 1.
Right. Okay.
How to add values to the chart, Vivek?
Select the element, as in click on the data element, the bar, and right click, add.
But then it is only doing it for one option where I have selected. So if I have to select the all.
So do just one select, not. All right, share your screen.
Okay.
Click on the bar, just one click, single bar. Now do a right click, add data labels. Yeah, second.
Here it is. And trend line.
No. Okay, hold on. Cancel as an escape. Do that. Select that data label, single data label. Delete. Hit
Okay.
delete. Now again, select the bar, right click, add data labels.
Okay.
Done?
Yes. In the charts, Vivek, we can also do a filter and then we can select only one bar and we can find out.
Sorry, what?
There was a filter option which is coming on the provisions, and when I select the provisions, and if I select maybe one or two, so it can only showing the bar graph of that portion only.
Yeah, that is because it's connected to the pivot.
That's
So
fine.
we'll talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. So are we good till now? Shall we move to the next?
Yes.
Nimesh, Pankaj,
Yes, yeah.
Kunal.
Yes, yes, Vivek.
Yes.
All right, cool. So now we have this again. So I got rid of all those unnecessary elements. What you can do is, so just since this is connected to pivot, this is a pivot and I created a chart on the pivot. So if I add any slicer on it, so let's say I put it on the order priority and add as a slicer. So the moment my table updates, because this slicer is updating my table, hence, and table is linked with this pivot table, pivot chart. So what you will get is a filtered version of, so again, an interactive way of presenting your information. That's one. Second is right now my chart is not that, or I'll say we can make it a better looking. So one way is it's not sorted. So ideally I would like to sort it in a order so that my top regions should show at the top. Again, for that, you need to sort your data source. When it comes to bar chart, you have to sort it in reverse order to get right order. If I sort it in the descending here, my chart will become ascending. So either this, I can sort it in descending, or I click on this axis. Now I get format axis option. Under this chart options, axis option, there is an categories in reverse order. If I'll check that, then I'll get into the exact same order. So now whatever option I'm selecting, I'll always get it in descending order. Then I can resize my chart elements. So I've selected this plot area. This is plot area, this is chart area. So that's a difference. When I'm selecting the complete chart versus I'm selecting this plot where the chart is being drawn. So I can select it and I can resize it, just like I can resize my graph to fit my elements. Second is I can increase the width, decrease the width between these pillars or bars to make it look better. So I selected this and then I come to series option and gap width. I reduce the gap width. You can select these elements as in data series and you can change the colors. Sorry, not border, no line, fill. So either you can do it from home, select the chart element, and you can decide on what color. Similarly, you can decide on the text color of your data labels. So you select your chart elements. That's the important thing. Once you've selected your chart elements accordingly, you can do the formatting. Okay.
I'm not able to see my pivot options, the changing options. I don't know where they have gone.
Select, click on the pivot table, right click, show field list.
Any questions?
Yeah, Vivek, Nimesh here.
Mhm.
So I have some confusion. I'll just share my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah.
So I selected this to insert this chart, and also I want to see data with including shipping mode. So I selected and tagged the shipping mode under columns, but in the shipping mode only delivery truck is I'm able to see if I click on this. If I select any other express air also, I am not able to see. It's mentioning this message.
Because yeah, because one, it is linked with the previous slicer, so you can go to that slicer of ship mode. So either you can here in the column D3 and the cell D3, do you see ship mode? You can deselect your filters from here. Clear filter.
Deselect.
Yeah, clear filter. Where it
Clear
says clear
filter from
filter.
ship mode. Okay.
Yeah, you can do this.
It's not happening. A pivot table report cannot overlap another pivot table report.
Yeah, so there okay, another thing is, let's go back, cancel. If you're getting this, because your reports are overlapping. What do you mean by reports overlapping? Which means the tables are overlapping. So you have a pivot tape chart overlapping this. And you scroll down, do you have anything below this?
No, I've opened a new sheet.
You just remove the chart from here. First thing first, let's remove the chart.
Okay. Yes, remove.
Now remove the filter. Actually, it is not about here. It's coming from the previous sheet.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so do one thing. Go back to your previous sheet because all the tables are linked. Now,
Yeah.
where is your slicer for ship mode? There must be a slicer for ship mode you added in the sheet. Can you?
Oh no, actually I have not added the slicer over
It
here.
is.
I have
No,
added
no.
in a new sheet.
Where is that slicer?
No, so this is deleted, na? From new sheet I've deleted just now.
No, but there is. It's still linked. It is linked with
Okay.
other pivot tables and scroll up.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll up.
There is a shipping mode. Okay, right. So there is a
So click.
slicer over here.
Yeah, click on this ship mode. Go to settings. And
Click on.
okay. So what is happening is if you remove the slicer, remove as in remove the all the selection filters, clear the filter, clear filter.
What is happening? Reason for this.
So let me share my screen and I'll tell you what is happening.
Okay.
All right, guys, remember this one as well. So there are some caveats or some challenges with a pivot table is that your pivot table, when it's in full expansion mode, it cannot overlap. So you have to ensure if you're inserting a new pivot, you give enough space or rows allocation that if it's this, let's say for example, this pivot table, if it's expanded to its full capacity, then what is the space it will take? Till what rows it will go down? After that row, you will add your pivot table, another pivot table if you want to add it on the same sheet. Okay.
Okay. And same is applicable if we copy paste in the new sheet as well.
The new sheet is not problem, but if the pivot tables are linked, because these slicers are linked, I can link it with
Right.
pivot table in the different sheet as well. So if I'm changing a selection here, it will interact. So that's why you have
Right.
to ensure if you're inserting a pivot or if you're putting a pivot, you give enough space
Okay.
that it should not overlap.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
So that is one of the challenge which you should take care of. But coming to this, are we good with this now? Can you insert a pivot? So you can do it on a fresh sheet, fresh new pivot table for that matter. You don't have to copy paste for this activity, right?
Vivek,
Yeah.
I'm facing only one thing, which is like in yours, it is in order, no? Starting like 17, 9, 0, 2, 11 in a descending order.
Mm.
So, how to do this?
So first you have to do your source table in an order. So if you have done it in descending, by default the bar graph, when it comes to the
Will
bar
come in
graph
descending.
in ascending, so I'll go click on the axis of the bar graph. I go to the format axis option, and there is an option categories in reverse order. I'll check that.
Okay, I'll try. Mine is not changing in the source only.
Okay, let's see your source, your screen. Click on some of any cell of some where it's sales value. Yeah. Now go to your home and sort it.
Sort it
Right
from.
on the right hand side where it says sort and filter. That's why I always keep my sorting
Okay.
on the quick access
ठीक है.
toolbar. Okay.
Okay.
So you have not removed your value field settings. Sorry, the field list from the pivot table. Pivot chart. Right click on your pivot chart and hide all field. No, not here. Anywhere else in the chart area. Okay, do one thing. Right click on the button where it says region. Right click, not left, right. Hide all. Yeah. Mm.
Sure.
All right. So are we good with this now? So what I've done so right now is I selected the chart area, and I filled it with white color, and I put it over my pivot table. So now I give it a look and feel of a dashboard.
Yes.
Okay, so this chart was pretty straightforward. Now let's talk about if I have to create a chart on this. Do you see any challenge if I put it on a single chart? If I do a column chart on this, do you see a challenge?
It's only revenue which is visible. Revenue order is not visible in the
And why
top
why
bar.
why it is not visible? Because my revenue scale is pretty high as compared to revenue per order.
Okay.
Isn't it? So I'm comparing 4443, 4443 and 16 on a same scale. So that's why it's not visible. So what I can do first thing first is I'll get rid of what I don't need is I'll right click, hide all field list button. And this time I can click on the chart and I get these options, design, and so I can again go back and do a design, change chart type. So this is the chart which I've selected, but right now I'm showing two metric. One is the revenue and another is revenue per order. They're two different metrics. So there has to be two scales, which means two axes. So I'll do a combo. And revenue per order, I'm saying make it a line graph, but on a secondary axis. What a secondary axis means that there is a one scale for showing revenue, another scale for showing revenue per order. Now what essentially this visualization is helping you to tell?
So we are having a very good revenue per order in the month of April and November.
So we sold high revenue items, high value add items in April and November. And this is for 2009, for 2010, 12, 11, and for regular air, express air. See, using a pivot, you have created a interactive dashboard. So I can further format it. So I'll get rid of the grid lines, not required. I can change this color to suit the theme. So I'll make it green. And this one, how about black? And I make it smooth. And get rid of the border. And I can position this at the top. What do you say now? How's your dashboard is looking like? With this interactivity.
Yeah, so it's look like
Amazing.
some expert app actually we are using. It's not
Website.
Hmm?
Website
Sorry?
kind of.
Website kind of.
Some like
And I can go ahead and switch off the headings. Now I get more website kind of feel. How much time did it take?
Not much.
2 seconds.
So that's how simple your data journey or data visualization can be. A lot of people will put it in the advanced category. Wouldn't they? Creating such type of visualization looks like an advance. Will you call it advance?
Like,
Sorry,
and we
sorry,
didn't know from that perspective.
sorry. Nimesh, say that again. Your voice broke up.
Okay. So what I am saying that of course for me it will be like seen as advanced because we didn't knew that, and we don't we don't have the hands-on experience like, until we use day in and day out.
But just looking at it now, when you I just showed you how to create this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not
So it is
difficult.
very much simple. Yes. Yes. It's simple.
So the key is to select the right color, ensure that you're matching the theme. That's very important. Look and feel. The first thing is always look and feel. If you gave it a different color, and what I did, I just played with the tricks. I hide my tables with white color. If I remove the color, if I'll say no fill, my tables are already here. So I created a curtain. So creating this pivot table was simple. You know that now.
Yes.
Now inserting chart is
Yes.
another not that difficult part. All you had to do is get rid of those elements. So I'll do it one more time. So I'll delete this. This is so far it's fine. Now there If it's a one scale, single scale, you can do any graph, but it's a double scale, especially when you have revenue and let's say you have percentages over here. So you can't compare it on one scale. So you have to do it on two scales. So for that, you go and you can straight away go to combo charts. So when you know that you have two scales, you can straight away go to combo charts. In here, your revenue should be in a clustered column as in a column, and revenue per order is in line. I'll just put it in the secondary axis. Click OK. Now all you need to do is get rid of what is not required. And position. So this is, I want it at the top. So I'll do a control 1 so that I get a format. I'll say top. Now I'll get rid of borders. So again, control 1, borders, fill is white, border no line. Format this line. So you just select it and you will get options like that. So it's very important to select. Now make it a black color. And I usually prefer, I don't prefer like this. I usually prefer smooth because our eyes love smoothness, curves. Human eyes like curves. Now only changes this color. So I'll change this to. And I increase the gap width to make it look full. And that's it. So I did it in front of you.
Screen, I'm not able to see the screen.
Share your screen and then I can actually guide you what you're.
What you are showing now, so I have not able to, like, it was kind of freeze, and now it is okay. Yeah, cursor is on delivery, right?
Yeah, delivery now express.
Yeah. Now it is.
It could be internet connection, yeah, because your voice is also breaking a lot, so I'm assuming it's a network.
Yes, okay, thanks.
So Pooja, now you can create dashboards, interactive, dynamic dashboards.
Yes.
So you get rid of the grid lines. If I switch on the grid lines again, things will look like a very generic one. So data to ink ratio, just keep only that ink which is adding value. Otherwise you don't keep it. Plain white space always looks the best.
From where I'm supposed
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Sorry,
I just want to show.
Yes, yeah, Pankaj. Yeah, Pankaj,
you were asking something, Nimesh?
Yeah, I wanted to know one more like time that in what way we can insert the combo like to both the keys.
Okay, sure. Let's Pankaj, let's see your screen first and then we can.
Okay, sure.
I just want to show like how I did. I did for profit. This grid is for sum of profit. So it's changing.
Yeah, but you put it on the secondary axis. You put it on the same axis because revenue and profit again they're two different scales. So you select the graph to go to design. Go to design, and change chart type on the right hand side. Right. Here you put it in the check the line. Secondary axis, not the sum of series, but as in and you should name it properly. So instead of sum of sales, it should say revenue. Yeah, click OK.
Right. It's looking amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can make it a lot better, but yeah,
Yes.
it's a good start.
Mhm.
And then creating an interactive experience.
Yes. Nimesh, you was asking something.
Nimesh, over to you.
Yeah. So yeah, I got the point you just showed now. Context
Okay, combo one.
from where to go. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got the point.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm able to do. Thanks.
Cool. Okay, so we have half an hour left. So shall we do something, few different things? Now, this is more I would like to cover on visualization. There are a lot many things you can do with visualization, but to just give you a head start on this is what you need. Now it's up to you how you, it's basically the way I say it is, how many primary colors are there?
7.
Nope, not 7.
Three colors.
3 primary colors.
Okay.
And
Red,
how
yellow,
many
green.
colors? Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah,
uh,
red, yellow, green.
red, green, blue, RGB.
Okay. Red, green, blue.
And how many colors you can make out of those 3 colors?
There's a permutation and combination. No idea.
Yeah, so basically n number of, if I'll do a more colors here, see, this is my RGB, red, green, and blue. It's always the combination of these 3 colors. I create my own color. So instead of knowing there are so many colors, you should know that there are 3 colors and you can make a lot many things from there. That is more important. So instead of showing you lot many features, I would like to show you a few, but you should be aware about those few. And you can do so many things with that. Okay. So always remember, mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. And that's what my intention has always been whenever I do trainings. Cool.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about which Nimesh asked how to create a drop down.
Yeah, drop down.
So that's part of data validation. So what exactly a data validation is? What do you
So
understand by
maybe
term
it's a
data
kind of
validation?
segmentation of data or filtration.
Not exactly segmentation. So when I'm entering a cell value, 1, 2, 3. So let's say this is ratings, satisfaction rating, and
Your
Vivek,
my
your screen is
screen.
freezed.
Yes.
okay, hold on, hold on. Let me reshare. My screen is it visible? No.
No.
How about now?
Visible.
Yes, visible.
Okay, great. So now let's just say I've created a form, and in this form, in one cell, I needed a rating. So usually, how your rating varies from 1 to 5, but by
Yes.
default, I can enter any value in a cell. It will allow me to enter any value, even in a text, right? So how can we control this? We that only specific values or specific things can be entered. For that, we use data validation. So you select the cell. Let's say for in this particular cell, which is H11, I would like to have, so since it's a rating, so I would like to have fixed values, which is 1 to 5. So I'll go to data and data validation, or use a keyboard shortcut Alt DL, Delhi, Lima, or London. So you select the cell and do a Alt DL. Now I get a data validation window in which I get a settings. So there are three settings: input and error alert. So let's talk about settings right now. By default, it says allow any value. And that is exactly what it does. It allows any value, decimal and whatnot. But in data validation, what I can do, so if I have to enter rating 1 to 5, which is a whole number, and then I can define what is my minimum, what is my maximum. So in this cell, I'm allowing whole number between 1 and 5. When I click OK, now when I want to enter any new value, so I can enter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But the moment I want to go up, it won't. Or if I want to do 4.5, it won't, because we're talking about whole number. So it can't be a fraction. Fraction means decimals. So it will not allow me to enter decimal. It will not allow me to anything less than 1 and more than 5. And it will not allow me to enter a text as well. So that's how my data validation works, which means I can restrict what value or what type of cell value I can take in. So instead of whole number, if I do a decimal, now what will be the change between a whole number and decimal? Where I can enter any value between 1 and 5. Now what will be the change? So I can enter 6. No, I can't. So what's the difference?
We can enter decimal values.
So I can enter 4.5 and it will take.
Yes.
I can do 4.1, it will consider. But if the moment I do 5.01, it will say no, not allowed, because I've restricted it. So you can do it for date, you can do it for time, text length, that only these many characters and all that. What most of people frequently use is create a drop down. So I don't want you to type. You use it from a drop down. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I get a drop down. So again, I cannot type any other number. I can type the same number which is available in the list, but anything apart from the list, I will not be able to type. So if I enter 5.5 as well, then it will, I can type that. It will allow me. But if I do 5.51, no. So we do a drop down. And it's pretty straightforward. You say allow list, and then you put all those values separated by comma, or You can write those values in a sheet. And you can refer to that. That way, if there is any change, so 2.5, it will automatically take. This is data validation. So yeah, you practice right now and you let me know if you have questions.
Done.
Good.
Wait, actually, in data, where is the data validation option? I'm not getting it. Hello?
Under data tools, you will find them.
Data tools. And from where to create this drop down?
So you select list.
Okay.
And once you select list, either you type your options separated by comma, or you put it in this cell
Okay.
and then select it.
Okay.
If you're putting it through decimals, Vivek, can you just repeat it once? I
Decimal
can
as
get it through list, but if I'm putting it through decimals, I'm getting two options. So yeah, list, decimal, right? Between, right? I read till 4.9. What will the maximum value have to enter? Because I'm getting an error message. There is too much numeric something.
No, so here you have to define a threshold. When you're doing a decimal, then you define a threshold that minimum, let's say I can enter from 1 till 10. So
Okay.
now it will not allow me anything beyond those numbers, beyond those
Okay.
threshold.
Got it.
I
Got
will
it.
not get a drop down. It's not, so drop down is another way of restricting, but
Got it, Vivek. Got it.
I'm not getting this drop down option.
share your screen. Let's see.
I need to right click on this cell, right?
Not right
I've
click.
shared. Right click.
Not right click. Either you do a data validation, so select that cell and do data validation.
Yes.
And instead of whole number, you where it says allow whole number, you select
Over here, I
list.
need to. Okay.
And now you define what is your list. Either if it's a, you can define it here. So 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 as that way. So each comma will appear in a separate line. So if you type A comma B comma C comma D, then you will get something like that.
Vivek, this can be done like on separate sheets also, no?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'll share my sheet. I want these things to be in drop down. So these movie titles can be on other sheet, and this will be on
Yes.
this sheet.
Yeah. So you can go, let's say, go to a new sheet 5. Let's do that. I'll show you. Yeah. Create a drop down list. Yeah. Go to any other sheet. Don't copy it from here. Just
Okay.
go any. Let's say in this cell you want to create a drop down. So select. Do a data validation. List. Now source. And now click on that sheet. Now click on that sheet. Now you can click anywhere where you have data. Now select it. Click OK.
Right.
So now if you have any changes, then you can do that. So I'll show you one more way. Did I showed you how to name a range? Wait, I did, na? So I remember that. So just to show you what you can do is, so for example, in this sheet, I have created a name. So let's say training. So I do training on Excel, I do training on Power BI, I do training on, let's say, data analytics, and I do training on
Tabular. What was that?
Tableau.
Tableau.
Okay, now I call this instead of why my mouse is behaving different. So what I can do is I can give it a name instead of a random cells. I can select this and I can call this, that's it, training list. So whenever I do go training list, it will always refer to these cells. Okay. Now in any sheet, I have to create a, let's say, drop down. So I can do Alt DL list. In source, I do a F3 function 3. For you, you might have to do a function key and then F3. This is the list I created, training list. Okay. So any change I perform in the training list now, let's say next time I do statistics. I have statistics.
Okay, so one more question arising: how to lock this if we are sending this sheet to somebody, because we will share whole sheet. So we want to lock this.
So we'll talk about that now because that is another important feature you should be aware. So are we good with validation? And one more thing is with the validation is the input message, which is useful. So for example, in this case, where were we? Yeah. Let's say I have kept it a whole number and between 1 and 5. Now, if user is entering 1.5, he doesn't know why it is giving it's an error. It just gives a generic message that this value doesn't match with the data validation. So what I can do is using validation, I can define, please enter values between 1 and 5. So the moment the user will select the cell, he or she will get this message, which in the data validation input message I have created. No fraction values will be accept it. So this is also at times is useful, especially when you're sending to someone else. And if it's not a drop down.
Yeah, Vivek, we have one more question. So this we are doing for such a small data. So if we go to this our sheet one, which is a big data, so in what way we can create in the shorter time?
So you select multiple cells, or you can use a paste special. So let's say I created a list. So I created a list here, and I said list and source is training list. Now I want to copy this to larger data. So I can, let's say from here to here. So I can do paste special, Control Alt V, paste special, and validation. All my validation automatically, including the input message.
Okay.
So paste special, and then with the paste special, you can do. So I send you a link of paste special as well. So you look for those videos to understand more about paste special. But with paste special, I can do lot many things, and I can copy paste the validation as well. So I'm not.
Okay.
So if I do
it can be done in multiple columns and multiple rows.
Yeah. Yep. It depends on how you selection, where you are selecting, how much area you're selecting. It will be applied on all those selected area. Excel is all about selection. Remember the graph? What we are selecting, depending on that, we are getting options.
Right.
So it's all about selection, what selection you're making, and accordingly you can apply it in multiple. So you can simply do a Control V, then it will automatically paste everything, but you do not want the formatting and all that. You just need the validation or the input message. You paste special, validation. Now everywhere where it's, I did a validation paste special, I have all that. Okay. So now let's talk about quickly about the protection, how we can protect our sheet. So there are two ways of doing it. So, and two steps of doing it. First step is that your cells should be protected. And when I say protected, when you select a cell and you do a format cell, there is a tab called protection. Here you will get two options, locked and hidden. By default, all the cells are locked, as in this property is always checked. So this is first step. So you have to ensure that, let's just say you don't want user to change anything apart from this cell. So by default, all the cells are locked. So, and I want user to make selection here. So I'll select this cell. I'll go to format cell protection and uncheck this. So this is the area, or this is the cell where I want user to make selection or make changes. Rest I don't want. So rest everything is locked. All the sheets are locked, all the cells are locked, but where I want user, where I allow user to make change, that cell is not blocked. This is
So
important.
if the user is unlocking it by in following this step, then
Hold on. That's a step. Now I have just completed the first step. There are two steps, as I said.
okay.
So this is the first step before you protect your sheet. So step one is ensure that whatever sheets or cells you want to protect or don't want user to make change, that cell is locked. Where you want user to allow to make change, that cell should be not locked. Okay, so far so good. Once you have done this, then you protect the sheet. Now you applied a property, now you apply the lock. Basically you installed on your door, you installed a lock, but you have not locked it with the key. So we have to apply a key, and the key is you go to review and you do a protect sheet. Protect sheet will give you the window where you can enter the password. So if you let's say to unprotect sheet, I'm saying you need to enter a password. So I define a password. Now here I can define what a user can do if the sheet is protected. So right now by default there are two options which are always selected, which is select lock cells, select unlock cells. So I'll show you what it means. Now this sheet is protected. I can select any cell. I can copy, but I cannot make change anywhere else. It will not allow me to do anything with an exception of this cell, which is not locked. And Nimesh, to answer your question, I cannot do the formatting or unlocking as well once the sheet is protected.
Right, yeah.
So I unlock it right now. Now that's one. Second option, what I can do is, let's say I want the user to do not select the lock cells. So when I do a select lock, just select unlock cells. Now I cannot even copy. I can just select only this cell. Rest I cannot even copy. I cannot click. All I can do is I take a screenshot. That's the best I can do. I cannot select anywhere. My mouse will not move. So if let me unlock it, and this time this is the region which I am saying it's not locked, and rest everything is locked. Now I'm protecting it, and I've said only select unlock cells. Do not select the locked cells. The only place I can move in the sheet is this area. Rest I can't even click. Okay. So you protect you protect your sheet, and with the password, then no one can make the change. So that's one level of security. There is another level of security, which is not just with Excel, with any Windows file, is when you save. So I save as, let me save as this PC and documents, and I'll go to this folder mode. I should have this folder option where I can select. Now I'm saving it here. Before I save the file, I'll go to tools and I go to general options. Now there are two options that is password to open. So if I enter a password to open and I save this file and I close this file and I go to my documents. When I open this file, I will not be able to open without entering the password. If I don't have password, I cannot access the file. And further, I can lock it. So I cannot enter anything beyond this. I can do a further level of security. Again, save as, general options, and this time I'll say password to modify. And when I do password to modify, let me remove the password to open. So I replace the original file and I'll open it. Now it is asking me password. If I want to modify, if I have the password, then I can enter the password. Otherwise, I'll open it in a read-only mode. So I can view everything, but if I'll make changes, I'll not be able to save it with the same name. I have to do a save as. Getting it?
Yes.
Tools, general option. So password to open if I want, and if I have the password, so right now I cannot make it says read only. By default, it is always a read only. So if I want to save it, it will not. But if I have password to modify, I can open it, and I have the access. So I do a password to modify. Now it's no longer it's in read only mode. So I can save it. So it depends on what level of security you want to put in on your file, and yeah.
Vivek, if you have the video for this protection and we drop down, then it will be helpful as a revision.
Sure. The session is being recorded, so I'll be sharing the session recording anyway. But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions?
No, Vivek, thanks.
बहुत हो गया.
No, Vivek, we can come up with the questions after the sessions as well, na? Because when we start practicing, then only the question will start coming.
Frankly, tired right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. बहुत हो गया. Yeah, but I hope whatever your objective was, I was able to fulfill to some extent.
Very much, very much.
Yes, yes.
Almost everything was, except few things, everything was new for me at least.
That's
You
nice.
filled us more actually. Whatever is as per the expectations, yeah.
More is good as long as expectations are good concerned. Great. So that's bring to the closure of the session.